well spread out the field at the moment. That's 24, Adam Connor, just flashing through the picture. That's Caudle, the leader, though. That's the lead he has over Gardner. She's certainly close enough to win this race. Plenty of laps remaining. Caudle's going to have to put his foot down, I think. 21, Joe Forsdyke in 5th place under severe pressure now from James Harridge, and George Birchnell not giving up either, right on the back of that little group. So, in fact, here comes Harridge down the inside of Forsdyke. He slipped through, so Harridge up to 5th place. What can he do from there? Waterman's the next man up in his sights, but Forsdyke fights back. Oh, Birchnell does the pair. Has he held on? Doesn't look like he has. I think Forsdyke's just held on to that place, but a nice move by Birchnell. He's been done by Harridge on the way out, so it's pretty much now as you were. But good clean driving here in this battle for 5th, 6th and 7th place between Forsdyke, Harridge and George Birchnell. It's still Caudle that leads it though. Gardner, 22, is getting much closer. Sheehan's dropping off the back of Gardner. Waterman's getting closer to Sheehan. And Forsdyke again under pressure. Helen Gardner puts in the fastest lap of the race, 37.56. She's just over a tenth quicker than Caudle. You see Forsdyke feeling like he has to defend now. And looking for the switch back is Harridge, but no such luck. Looks for the switch back again. He'll go outside, inside. In fact, he's been hung out to dry on the outside. And Birchnell does himself a brace as easy as you like. He'll say, thank you very much, guys. You keep battling. I'm off. And Harridge still trying for a way past as he go through pylon. Gardner looks like she's getting slightly closer. Sheehan shaking his head. Doesn't look very happy. 16 kart is the aforementioned George Birchnell. Sheehan about to come under pressure now from Waterman. Waterman certainly looking for a podium. I don't think he's going to get anything better than that unless the karts in 1st and 2nd place either break down or take each other off. At the moment they're not close enough to take each other off, but you never know the way Gardner's going. I think Caudle's going to get the hurry up signal sometime very soon from the dummy grid area. His supporters will be waving him on so that he knows that he could be about to come under pressure from the kart of Helen Gardner there. As the 69 kart lets Gardner through. It's the novice, Nicola's mother. 25 laps these races today. That's a long way in sprint racing, especially in a kart. And Caudle has got 2 races to do. He's in this TKM race, which is leading comfortably. He's qualified 6th for the Rotax Max race, which is coming up at the end of the day, the final race that we'll be showing you later on. And by the time he gets about 7 or 8 laps into that Rotax Max race, his ribs will be letting him know that they are under severe stress and pressure. 2 25-lap races in the one day, and seats that fit very snugly can be quite wearing on the old ribs, as I found out to my cost on the couple of occasions I raced. Sheehan and Waterman flash past the back marker, Nicola's mother, get past cleanly through the outfield hairpin. Here's Caudle, 7, still got a comfortable lead over Gardner. She doesn't look like she's getting any quicker. He's had the hurry up signal from the dummy grid area. He's had a quick look there to see how many laps are remaining, and the 77 kart of James Harridge is off, shakes his head, can't believe it. He's had a pretty good battle there for that 5th, 6th and 7th spot. Not sure what happened out of the shot, so we didn't see what brought about his demise, but Harridge is out. Drags the kart away to the edge of the barrier. The yellow flags will be waving. You can just see them in the background. And a quick look at the camera. Did you get that? We didn't. So we don't know what happened, whether he chucked it off on his own or he had a bit of a helping hand. Not sure. Last lap, though, for Luke Caudle. Helen Gardner, probably the drive of the race, to be honest, from Helen Gardner. Caudle's had it pretty straightforward from the front of the grid. Likes to flag this is going to be. But he's responded when he needed to, and Helen Gardner's performance coming from 6th to 2nd has certainly been an exceptional one. There she is, 37. Ricky Martin's actually been lapped, but never mind, he can give us a song later. Oh, I bet he's sick of hearing that joke. But it's Luke Caudle, the 7 kart, that takes the win. Usually gives it the single-digit celebration. There it is, the standard Luke Caudle celebration after a win. And Sam caught up with him after the race.
Luke, congratulations, you led the whole of that race. I must say you made it look very, very easy. No, it wasn't easy. It was a long way to that checkered flag, just about keeping your mind and that. And yeah, no, it went well.
And you chose to do 2 races this weekend. You've done the TKM Extreme one. You qualified 6th for your senior Rotax race, and it's your first time you've ever sat in a senior Rotax as well. How do you think it's going to go?
I think it's going to go all right. We've had some engine trouble throughout the weekend, but we're getting there. Qualified 6th for the pre-final, so anything could go.
That Rotax Max race, the last race in this programme today. Luke Caudle takes the win from Helen Gardner. Great drive by Helen. Sam Sheehan just holds on for 3rd place despite pressure from Will Waterman. We'll be back with more from Rye House after this break.
Welcome back to Rye House for the Rotax 177 class. The interesting thing about the 177 class is that the driver and the cart have to weigh 177 kilos, but the driver themselves have to weigh 85 kilos. So that means that the drivers have to eat a lot of calories.
Talking of calories, does Sam's bum look big in those pants, or is it just me? Darren Pizzaglia goes off P6, Scott Lee off P5, 21 years of age from Edmonton, quite young for this class. Lee Morgan off P3, 37 years of age from Braintree in Essex. Mark Whittam off P2, 47 from Walthamstow. And the man on pole, Dave Rendell, 35 from Walken in Hertfordshire. Here we go, we're underway and running then, and it's Rendell that holds on to the lead through turn 1. Rotax 177 for drivers aged in the year of their 16th birthday and over, although you have to be eating a lot of cream buns if you were 16 and racing in this class. Oh, we've got contact there, and that's Lee Morgan. Morgan started in 3rd place. Is that terminal? That may be a stub axle he's done there. He's turning off the track onto the grass. He's had enough. Let's have a look at the ryehouse.co.uk replay. There is Morgan up the inside. Oh, he's clipped the curb, and that's thrown him off to the right and into the 35 card of James Darch. Darch still running, may have done some damage to the axle, although it doesn't look like it there. He's in 4th place and looks like the cart's running no problem. The 16 cart just in behind Darch is Scott Clee. Clee started in 5th place, and in fact is still there. The 27 cart is Shane Piggott. He's there in 6th, just behind Clee. But the leader is Dave Rendell. Rendell starting on pole. Will this be another lights to flag victory for Dave Rendell, I wonder? Could well be. The 16 cart, the Maranello chassis of Scott Clee, leads the 27 cart, the Intrepid chassis of Shane Piggott. This one looks like it could be a lot closer than the previous race we were just watching. Under pressure is Dave Rendell. Mark Whittam it is, the 47-year-old who's applying the pressure to Rendell. 39 in behind. In 3rd place is Darren Pizzaglia. He's under pressure from the 35 cart. In fact, gives up 2 places. 35 cart of James Darch goes through, and with him goes Scott Clee. So Pizzaglia drops back to 5th, and in behind Pizzaglia is Piggott, and then the 83 cart of Wayne Smithers. Smithers was the fastest man in the time qualifying session at the beginning of the weekend. As he gets into the back of Piggott there, no damage done. Piggott still running. The kart streamed through pylon one more time. Wayne Smithers can only qualify 7th in the pre-final, so started 7th on the grid here for this grand final. But if he can reproduce the times that he was putting in the time qualifying session and can turn that into some racecraft, then he's certainly close enough, if good enough. Currently in 7th place on the track with plenty of laps to work his way through from 7th on the back of this snake of karts to the leader, who is the poleman, Dave Rendell. Still has it through pylon. Rendell, Whittam, Darch 35, then comes Clee, Pizzaglia, Piggott and Smithers rounding out the top 7. Not much to choose between this leading group. This is a lot closer race than we've just seen. 3 or 4 kart lengths now for Rendell, the leader. Whittam under pressure from Darch, who had a quick look down the inside. Rendell in 1st to Smithers in 7th. 1.96 is the split, and we're a number of laps into this race, so it shows you how close this one is. Only one of these 7 can win this race, but of course to win it you do need track position when it comes down to the business end, and Rendell now starting to pull away from Mark Whittam behind. Whittam put the pressure on early. Darch is now putting the pressure on Whittam. And of course Whittam's now got to think about the cart behind. Well, we've got contact there through pylon. Liam Smith getting into the back of, I think that was Richard Lambert. So Lambert has certainly lost a place and time, no doubt about that. We didn't see the incident fully, but there was certainly contact between the two karts. And Richard Lambert's race has been compromised. They were running down the field, but nevertheless, you always want to win your own private little race. Little battles always going on through the field. You get little gaggles of karts, 3 or 4 karts together, 5 or 6 karts together. They may be running down in 20th to 25th place, but that doesn't matter to you. If you're 25th and you're in a group of 4 or 5 karts, you want to finish on the front of that group. It's all part of the enjoyment of the day's racing. And certainly a lot of these guys, they're in the sort of 30s and 40s, a lot of them in this 177 class. They're here for fun, they're here because they enjoy racing, they want a little bit of competition. It's not about progressing into other areas of motorsport. They're here because it's the cheapest form of motor racing, and they just want to come and enjoy their day out with the thrill of racing a kart that will do 70 miles an hour and 2 inches off the ground. That feels extremely fast, let me tell you. The 55 kart of Lee Miller about to come under pressure from the 22 kart of Steve Bishop. 39 kart is Darren Pizzaglia still holding on to that 5th place. Here's the battle for 2nd. James Darch still applying that pressure to Mark Whittam, and if these two start battling, that's going to help the leader. Although, to be fair, I think they've actually closed Dave Rendell down slightly compared to a couple of laps ago. It looked like he was pulling a bit of an advantage, but that gap certainly not extended as I thought it might have done. The 16 car of Scott Clee in the mix as well. So Clee right onto the back of Darch, and Darch having a good look over his shoulder there. And if Darch gets concerned about the kart behind rather than moving forward, that could certainly slow his progress and help out Mark Whittam. And already you can see there, Whittam has got a couple of kart lengths on Darch behind. So Darch now having to think about the attentions of Scott Clee on the Maranello chassis in the back of that little group of 3 there. And now that's going to help Whittam. He can now concentrate on just moving forward and not worrying about the kart behind. The 83 kart of Wayne Smithers not as close as I thought he might be. This is a spicy battle though between Bishop and Miller. The contact between the pairs, smoke coming off the tyres as they contact each other going around the exit of Pylon. So Bishop and Miller certainly getting into it. Lee Miller 55, Steve Bishop was the 22 kart. Let's have another look on the Rye House replay. Miller 55, 22 Bishop. Bishop running the curb and then running into the side of Miller on the outside. There's a contact and the smoke coming off the tyres. As we rejoin it, we've got another card off. That's the 44 card of Leon Smith, who I think contributed to his own downfall there. We didn't see the full shot. Let's have another look again at the replay. And in fact, this is the same group of karts we've just seen in the previous replay. Miller and Bishop involved that time, but Leon Smith here up the inside, and well, that's a bit ambitious to say the least. Just runs over the curb and spins himself out. So Leon Smith responsible for his own demise on that occasion. It's as you were with the leaders, Rendell, Whittam, Darch and Scott Clee. But the one big change is the gap now from Clee back to 5th place. Pizzaglia are now well behind in 5th. And he's pursued there by Piggott and Wayne Smithers, but they're now well off the lead group of 4. And plenty to do if they've got any pretensions of being on the podium. I think that opportunity, frankly, is now gone. Up to the infield hairpin. It's still Rendell that leads it, but under braking, Whittam gets that much closer. Darch gets closer to Whittam in turn. Where's Scott Clee? He's just falling off the back of this group of 3 now. So it looks like it's between these 3. And Rendell now under real pressure from Whittam, who looked like he was dropping back just a number of laps ago, but no longer. He's right on the back of the leader. It looks like he's close enough to have a go very shortly, or certainly will be. Needs to concentrate on just getting onto the back of him, coming into this hairpin, up to the infield hairpin here. Not quite close enough there, but a control. Well, he has a look, but to be fair, he's not going to make that work. And running wide is James Darch, and that's allowed Clee through from 4th to 3rd. So big mistake there by Darch. I'm not sure whether he was distracted. I suspect he may have been distracted by the move of Mark Whittam, who went inside and then came back outside. And Darch seems to have been distracted sufficiently to have been forced into an error. And much to the joy of Scott Clee, who's now in that podium position. And what was a battle of 3 karts for the win just a lap ago, it's now down to 2. Clee's through for 3rd, but again, there's a big gap to Whittam. And Whittam's all over the back here of the leader, Rendell. trying to look for a way past, but got to be controlled at this stage of the race. Just got to close the gap, get right onto the back of the leader, get into the slipstream and make the move decisively into the hairpin. He's a little bit erratic at the moment, looking for the move when really it's not there. And as they cross the stripe this time, there's 2 to go. Now Mark Whittam just needs to concentrate on getting close to Dave Rendell. Got to move up gently onto the back of his bumper and make the move either down the straight or into one of the hairpins. Just can't seem to get onto the back of him, not close enough. Bazaglia now well clear in 5th. Obviously been some sort of incident there with the carts behind, because Bazaglia had very close attentions from Piggott and Wayne Smithers, but looks like he's well clear at this stage. Through Paddock Bend for the penultimate time. Here comes the leader then, last lap as he go through the line, and Whittam's no closer. I think Rendell's done enough here. Scott Clee holding on for that 3rd place. There's Smithers has got past Piggott. Piggott 27 has dropped back to 7th place. Smithers now through to the top 6, but he would have been hoping for so much more at the beginning of the weekend, having scored the fastest lap in the time qualifying session. That's Clee, who's certainly done enough for 3rd. Looks like Rendell, who's trying to control it for the win, has probably just about done enough. Through Paddock Bend for the last time, down to the finish line. It's Dave Rendell with a Leicester flag. Whittam puts in the fastest lap on the last lap, but it's not quite enough. Clee holds on for 3rd place. Great battle in the senior class, the 177 class, and Sam caught up with the winner later in the day.
David, congratulations. You led the whole race, but you always had Mark Whittam right on her tail, didn't you?
I did, yes. I could sense him there. I tried not to look behind, but it's difficult. You're sort of looking forward, concentrating on trying to keep in the lead and not let him sort of catch me too much, but I could sense he was there all the time. So leading from the front all the way to the line is fantastic.
You managed to keep your cool though, he didn't sort of force you into a mistake, did he?
No, I just sort of try and keep the pace up, try and push a little bit. I had plenty of support on the side, so they were sort of giving me ideas of where he was, so I was just trying to keep ahead, and fortunately I managed it till the end, so that was good.
Certainly did keep his head under severe pressure from Mark Whittam on the last couple of laps, and throughout the race in fact. David Rendell takes a well-deserved win. Mark Whittam joins him on the podium, as does Scott Clee. We'll be back with more after this short break.
Welcome back. Next up is the Dadson Masters class, and I'm here with Danny Pennell, who's going to give me a little bit more information about Dadson itself.
Dadson's basically runs the same format as Senior Max, with a few things increased, predominantly the age. You must be 35 years of age or older to race a Dadson, and along with that we've put up the weight a little, and that's it.
A little?
Yeah. Some of the weights are 177, but that's for fat boys. We've just done the old geezers.
Danny, now tell me, do you need to be a dad with a son to do this?
No, you don't need to be a dad with a son. You can be a dad with a daughter or a dad with anything. As long as you've got a Rotax Max engine, you can race it. We've got granddads even in our series.
Danny, thank you very much. I'll be watching very closely this weekend. Here's Alan with the Dads on Fire.
The first dad on fire is Steve Kerr, going off P6, 39 from Grays in Essex. Off P5 is Melvin Francis, 46 years of age, from Carshalton in Surrey. Here's a face from the past. It's Winston Bent, the original reggae boy, going off P4, 47 years of age, from Milton Keynes. Bryn Green goes off P2, again 47 from Watford, and the poleman is 35-year-old Nigel Fordham from Devon. It's Fordham that's grabbed himself the lead as we join it through turn 1. Dadson Masters for drivers over the age of 35 and sponsored by the Dadson Masters, who have their own Dadson Masters Challenge, which takes place throughout the year at various club circuits throughout the UK. Very popular it is too, and very well supported by many of these drivers who, again, are in this event for the competition, fun and enjoyment of it all. And if you think you're too old to start karting, think again. This class for the more mature driver, 35 years of age and over. And if you'd like more information about this class, maybe you're 40, 45 years of age, got some time on your hands, bit of disposable income, thinking this looks a very fun activity to get involved in, the cheapest level of motorsport, certainly is karting, then have a look at the website dadsonmotorsport.co.uk. That's Dadson, D-A-D-S-O-N, motorsport, all one word, .co.uk. Check out the website and that will give all the information you need to know about getting involved in the Datsun Challenge, whether you are involved in karting now or thinking about getting involved. It's Fordham, the poleman, has a comfortable lead here from Dickinson. Then comes Francis Green, Bent, Britton, Kerr and Pasterfield. Pasterfield running out the top 8. Melvin Francis there in 3rd place currently to come up to the infield hairpin. Winston Bent there. He's obviously changed his helmet since we last filmed Winston. Last saw him in the Super 2 National Championships back in, I think it was 2003, where he had a great battle with Steve Chapman that weekend. Chapman coming out on top certainly in the second race of that weekend, I seem to remember. No doubt Steve Chapman will bore his grandchildren silly with tales of daring do, showing them the DVD time and again. One thing I do remember about Winston from that weekend at Daytona Raceway in Milton Keynes is that he's a master at defensive driving, so the one thing the drivers in front of him will not want to see is Winston Bent in front of them, because if he gets in front with a couple of laps remaining, he will be very, very difficult indeed to get past. He's currently there in 5th place. Just in behind him is the 20 card of Roger Britton, or could be Brittain in fact, spelt with 2 T's. But it's Fordham that leads it, the 45 cart of Nigel Fordham. Tony Dickinson currently in 2nd place, but under a lot of pressure from the 55 card of Melvin Francis. And Francis up the inside into the hairpin. Can't make it work though. Had a good look coming out of Reg's elbow, but couldn't get close enough to Dickinson in front. And it looks like Dickinson is holding up the carts behind. That's allowing the leader to get away. That is the lead that he has. It's a good 10 lengths at this stage. Francis under pressure in turn from the carts just in behind. The Tony Carter Bryn Green and the CRG chassis of Winston Bent just in behind Green. But Bent has a look down into turn 1 as we see a quick look of Paul O'Neill, 25, the novice, friendless at the back of the field, nobody to play with. As Steve Kerr fires one up the inside of Roger Brittain. Has he held on? He has. Brittain runs wide. Kerr makes the place. That looks like 6th place, I think, there for Steve Kerr. In the meantime, 37 Tony Dickinson has succumbed to the pressure from Bryn Green and Winston Bent. Green and Bent through to 3rd and 4th place respectively. Dickinson now down to 5th. And they are in turn followed by the aforementioned Steve Kerr and Roger Brittain, rounding out the top 7 drivers in this race so far. This is the battle on the track that we're following at the moment. Bryn Green 60 in 3rd place, got that final podium spot at the moment. Looks like he's pulled 4 or 5 kart lengths over Winston Bent. He has. Bent in turn being pursued by the 37 car of Tony Dickinson, who certainly hasn't given up. Nigel Fordham, the leader, about to encounter the backmarker Paul O'Neill, the novice. Winston having a look down the inside of Bryn Green here. Is he going to make that stick? A couple of wheels on the curb. Just about makes his way past. Blue flags waving for Paul O'Neill. Smartly gets out the way. The leader goes by, but Winston's made his way through to 3rd place. So Green back to 4th. Dickinson getting into the action again now that these two in front are battling. So there is Winston Bent, and he's going to be a difficult man for Bryn Green to get past. That's certainly my experience of Winston Bent last time we filmed him at the Daytona Raceway in Milton Keynes. Very tight circuit that was. This isn't anywhere near as tight as that. And I think Bryn Green will find Winston Bent a very wide man to get past. 77 Russell Ford clearly got some sort of a problem down the back of the field. Hand in the air, still running, but well out of contention obviously. Oh, and Dickinson fighting back and takes a spot off Green. So Dickinson back to 4th place, drops Bryn Green back a place now. And Green, in turn, is under pressure from the 39 kart of Steve Kerr. Well, Tony Dickinson did have a comfortable lead in 3rd place over the chasing drivers at one stage. Succumbed to the pressure, allowed Green and Bent pass, but has found his second wind, obviously, and puts himself right back into contentions, back into 4th place, and chasing Winston Bent. You'll find Winston a difficult driver to get past if he can get onto the back of him. At the moment, he's got a bit of work to do to get onto the back of Winston Bent. He's under pressure from Green, who in turn is under pressure from Kerr. Kerr's put 4 or 5 kart lengths between himself and Roger Brittain. Brittain there in 7th place. The drivers come through pylon, out of pylon down through the S's here. This is Paddock Bend coming out onto the main straight. That's Bent 50, 37 Dickinson. Looks like he's getting a little bit closer. A couple of kart lengths now between himself and Bryn Green. Well, it was. Under braking, Green closes up. Kerr gets a bit closer as well. And these battling may allow Brittain to get back onto the back of them. These races in the London Cup for the seniors, all 25 laps, so plenty of laps to get into contention, even if you've not qualified very well. We've not seen anybody really other than perhaps Barry Pullinger in the earlier Mini-Max race, who came from 19th to 5th, really put on a charge from the back of the field to the front. It's pretty much been the domain of the leading drivers on the grid to go on and take the wins. But whenever you get a sprint race which is in the region of 25 laps, that's certainly plenty enough time to get from the back of the grid to the front. Nobody's going to do that today in this particular class though, because Fordham is well clear. And this group here battling over the final podium spot, well behind Melvin Francis, who is well clear in turn in 2nd place over this chasing bunch. So Fordham's got a comfortable lead over Francis. Francis got a comfortable lead over Bent, but Bent certainly isn't comfortable there in 3rd place. He's got a lot of attention now from Tony Dickinson, who's certainly found his 2nd win, isn't he? Right onto the back of Bent under braking. Does he get close enough for the outfield hairpin here?